Celebrity interviews can sometimes become defining and career-changing moments. From Tom Cruise's unforgettable couch moment to Britney Spears finally telling her truth, and Oprah Winfrey hosting confessions that shook entire industries. Here are 10 celebrity interviews that changed careers overnight. In 2009, Megan Fox was not just a rising star. She was everywhere. She was on magazine covers, red carpets, and movie posters around the world. Her role as Michaela Baines in Transformers had turned her into one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood almost overnight. She was young, confident, and suddenly at the center of one of the biggest film franchises of the decade. The first Transformers film, directed by Michael Bay and executive produced by Steven Spielberg, was a massive global success. It made hundreds of millions of dollars and launched Fox into a level of fame she had never experienced before. When the sequel, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, was released in 2009, her star power grew even more. She was no longer just an actress. She had become a cultural icon. But at the exact moment her career seemed unstoppable, one interview changed everything. That interview appeared in Wonderland magazine in 2009. During the conversation, Fox spoke openly about her experience working with Michael Bay. She described his directing style as intense, aggressive, and controlling. Then she made a comparison that would shock Hollywood. She compared Bay to Hitler. She said that working with him was difficult and that he ruled the set in a harsh and demanding way.
He's infamous for being a sort of tyrant, I guess, on set.
Her words spread quickly. Within days, entertainment news outlets picked up the story. Headlines repeated the comparison over and over. What may have started as frustration during an interview became a major controversy. Hollywood is an industry built on relationships, reputation, and perception. Directors, producers, and executives want actors who are not only talented, but also cooperative and respectful. Fox's comments were seen by many powerful figures in the industry as disrespectful and unprofessional. It did not matter whether she felt justified. What mattered was how her words were interpreted. Michael Bay later said that Steven Spielberg was particularly unhappy with the comments. Spielberg was not just any producer. He was one of the most powerful and respected figures in the entire film industry. His opinion carried enormous weight. According to Bay, Spielberg gave a simple instruction regarding Fox's future in the franchise. He reportedly said, "Fire her." That moment changed everything. Fox was suddenly removed from the Transformers franchise. Her character, Michaela Baines, disappeared from the third film, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, released in 2011. She was replaced by another actress, and the franchise moved forward without her. This decision shocked fans. Megan Fox had been one of the defining faces of the series. Her chemistry with co-star Shia LaBeouf had been a major part of the film's appeal. Her sudden absence was impossible to ignore. The controversy became one of the most well-known examples of how quickly Hollywood can turn on someone. In 2005, Tom Cruise did something no one expected. During his interview on The Oprah Winfrey Show, he didn't just talk about love, he jumped on the couch, smiling. He didn't act like the controlled, polished movie star people were used to. Instead, he openly declared his love for Katie Holmes with intense emotion, telling Oprah Winfrey, "I'm in love.
I'm in love.
I can't be cool. I can't be laid back." Overcome with excitement, he grabbed her hands, dropped to his knees, and jumped on the couch in front of a stunned audience. The moment instantly went viral across television and media, transforming his image overnight from mysterious Hollywood icon into someone many people saw as unpredictable and overly intense. It marked the beginning of a noticeable shift in how the public perceived him, and it followed him for years. Next comes Britney Spears. After years of silence, legal control, and public scrutiny, Britney finally sat down and told her truth. Her interviews revealed the reality behind the headlines.
Okay, so I woke up this morning and I realized that there's a lot going on in my head that I haven't really shared with platform and share hardships or just really anything that's going on in my mind, and I really don't
Turned
think
out, she had been living under strict control for years, unable to make basic personal decisions about her own life, career, or finances. She revealed she wasn't allowed to freely see friends, leave her home when she wanted, or control the money she earned. She described feeling silenced, monitored, and treated as if she had no independence, despite continuing to work and perform. Hearing her speak directly changed public perception immediately. People no longer saw her as someone who needed control, but as someone who had survived it. And then there's Oprah Winfrey, the media mogul whose interviews didn't just make news, they made history. She hosted confessions that shook entire industries. When celebrities sat across from her, secrets came out. Oprah became the person celebrities trusted with their most devastating truths. When Lance Armstrong sat across from her, he finally admitted to using performance-enhancing substance after years of denial, confirming one of the biggest scandals in sports history. When Meghan Markle spoke with her, she revealed the emotional toll of royal life.
It was really hard. Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry especially.
And disclosed painful experiences that shocked audiences worldwide. Years earlier, Michael Jackson had also used the platform to speak about his loneliness, fame, and the pressures he faced behind the scenes.
When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
These interviews didn't just reveal secrets. They permanently changed careers, reputations, and how the world saw these figures. Next comes Billy Bush. In 2016, Billy Bush was living what many people would consider a dream career. He was a well-known television personality, respected journalist, and co-host on The Today Show. His job placed him in front of millions of viewers every morning. He interviewed celebrities, covered major events, and had built a reputation as a trusted media figure. But everything changed because of a video recorded more than a decade earlier. The footage came from 2005, when Bush was working as a host for Access Hollywood. During that time, he was preparing for an interview with businessman and television personality Donald Trump, who would later become president of the United States. The two men were on a bus, wearing microphones, unaware that their private conversation was being recorded. What they said would remain hidden for years. In October 2016, during the final weeks of the presidential election, The Washington Post released the footage. The video quickly became known as the Access Hollywood tape. It showed Trump making explicit and inappropriate comments about women.
I don't even know. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
Bush could be heard laughing along during the conversation. The reaction was immediate and explosive. The footage spread across television, social media, and news websites around the world. Millions of people watched it. The conversation was widely condemned as offensive and unacceptable. Although Trump was the one making the comments, Bush faced severe consequences for his role in the exchange. Many viewers and critics questioned why he had laughed instead of challenging the remarks. They saw his reaction as approval rather than discomfort. At the time, Bush had just joined the Today Show as a co-host. It was a major promotion in his career. He had worked for years to reach that level. But within days of the tape's release, his position became uncertain. NBC, the network that aired Today, faced enormous pressure from viewers and advertisers. They had to make a decision quickly. Bush was suspended. Shortly afterward, he resigned from the show. His career, which had taken decades to build, collapsed almost overnight. The speed of the downfall was shocking. One moment, he was hosting one of the most watched morning shows in America. The next, he was gone. Bush later admitted that he was deeply ashamed of his behavior in the video. He said he should have spoken up instead of laughing. He described the experience as painful and humiliating. The scandal affected more than just his job. It affected his reputation, his confidence, and his place in the industry. For a long time, he remained out of the spotlight. Years later, Bush slowly returned to television. He joined Extra as a host and began rebuilding his career. But the Access Hollywood tape remained part of his public identity. It became a defining moment, not because of something he said directly, but because of how he reacted. If Billy Bush's career changed because he laughed in the background of a recorded conversation, then what happened to R. Kelly? By 2002, R. Kelly was not just a successful singer. He was one of the most powerful figures in music. He had written and produced countless hit songs. His voice defined an era of R&B. His influence stretched across generations of artists. Songs like I Believe I Can Fly had made him a global icon, and his ability to blend emotional storytelling with commercial success had made him nearly untouchable in the music industry. But behind the success, serious accusations had begun to surface. Allegations involving underage girls were already circulating, and public attention was growing. During an interview with journalist Teray in 2002, Kelly was asked directly about the accusations. The question was clear and unavoidable. The public wanted answers, and this was his opportunity to address the issue directly and clearly. But instead of offering a firm denial or expressing concern about the seriousness of the accusations, Kelly responded with a question that immediately stunned viewers. He asked, "When you say teenagers, how old are we talking?"
Teenage girls. When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
That moment instantly became one of the most infamous interview responses in entertainment history. It was not just what he said, but how he said it. His tone did not reflect urgency or outrage. Instead of rejecting the implication outright, his response appeared to focus on defining the age range. For many people watching, this created immediate discomfort. It gave critics ammunition. It created doubt in the minds of fans who had once supported him without question. The interview spread widely across television and media. People replayed the moment repeatedly, and it became part of his public identity. Even though his legal battles would continue for years afterward, that single sentence became one of the defining moments that shaped public perception of him. Kelly's interview raised questions that would follow him for years. The interview given by Prince Andrew in 2019 did something just as damaging, but in a completely different way. Prince Andrew had spent most of his life as a senior member of the British royal family. As the son of Queen Elizabeth, he had carried royal status, privilege, and responsibility for decades. He had served in the military. He had represented the monarchy at official events around the world. His image had always been protected by the structure and tradition of the royal institution. But his association with financier Jeffrey Epstein began to create serious problems for his public image. Epstein had been convicted of intimate offenses, and his connections to powerful figures drew global attention. Questions grew about Prince Andrew's friendship with him, and pressure mounted for the prince to explain himself publicly. In November 2019, Prince Andrew agreed to sit down for an interview on BBC Newsnight. The goal was clear. He intended to defend himself, clarify his relationship with Epstein, and restore public trust. It was supposed to resolve the controversy and protect his reputation. Instead, it had the opposite effect. Throughout the interview, viewers noticed his tone and demeanor. Many felt he failed to show empathy toward Epstein's victims. His explanations raised more questions instead of resolving them. At one point, he offered unusual and widely criticized explanations for specific allegations, including claiming he was unable to sweat due to a medical condition when addressing a particular accusation. The response was met with disbelief and confusion. The public reaction was immediate and severe. Media outlets around the world described the interview as disastrous. What was meant to repair his image instead made the situation worse. His answers were seen as detached, unconvincing, and lacking emotional awareness. The damage was so significant that shortly afterward, Prince Andrew announced he would step back from public royal duties. For a royal figure whose identity was built on duty, service, and public representation, stepping away from official responsibilities marked a dramatic fall from public life. In 2007, Katherine Heigl was one of the most in-demand actresses in Hollywood. Her role on Grey's Anatomy had made her a household name, and her performance in the film Knocked Up helped establish her as a major movie star. The film was a massive success. It earned strong reviews and performed extremely well at the box office. Heigl's career appeared to be rising rapidly, but in a 2008 interview with Vanity Fair, Heigl made comments about Knocked Up that shocked many people in the industry. She described the film as a little sexist, explaining that she felt the female characters were portrayed in a way that she did not fully support. While her comments reflected her personal opinion, the reaction from Hollywood was immediate and lasting. Studios, producers, and directors began to see her differently. The film had been a major success, and criticizing it publicly created the impression that she was ungrateful or difficult. In an industry built heavily on collaboration and loyalty, publicly criticizing a successful project raised concerns among decision-makers. Over time, Heigl's reputation within Hollywood changed. She continued to work, but her momentum as a leading actress slowed. Opportunities that once seemed guaranteed became less frequent. Her comments did not end her career, but they reshaped how she was viewed by the industry. What had been seen as honesty was interpreted by others as disloyalty. In 2015, Charlie Sheen appeared on the Today Show and revealed that he was HIV positive. The announcement shocked fans around the world. Sheen had been one of television's biggest stars, known for his roles in major shows and films. His personal life had already been surrounded by controversy, but this revelation added a new and serious dimension to his public identity. Some people praised him for being honest. They saw his decision to speak publicly as an act of courage, but others criticized the timing and circumstances. Questions arose about why he had waited so long to reveal his diagnosis, and whether his past behavior had put others at risk. His calm demeanor during the interview also drew attention, with some viewers interpreting it as a lack of visible remorse or urgency. The interview did not just inform the public. It reshaped how Sheen was seen permanently. His career, already affected by previous controversies, never returned to the level it once held. Finally, in 2007, Paula Abdul appeared on Hot 92.3 FM to promote American Idol, where she served as a judge. During the interview, listeners immediately noticed something unusual. Her speech appeared slurred. Her responses seemed unclear. Her behavior did not match the polished and professional image audiences were used to seeing on television. The interview quickly spread online. Fans and media outlets speculated about what had happened. Some wondered whether she was impaired.
But is it that easy to give up the role he's played for so long?
Impaired or intoxicated. Others questioned her health or well-being. Abdul later denied being intoxicated, but the damage to her public image had already been done. The interview became a viral moment. It created doubt about her professionalism and added to the growing narrative surrounding her behavior at the time. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories like this.